Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a look from Pinterest. And that pin was from actually Instagram, and the account is @EllenMakeup. I will tag her below in my description. This look is sort of what I would call like a mix of like a rainbow and kind of Rastafarian looking. So it's this here. And I'm gonna be trying that. I've already done my face, same as I usually do. I took a picture of all the products that I'm gonna be using. And if you're not sure my usual skin routine, just go ahead and check out almost any other of my videos to see that. So the palette I'm gonna be using today is the James Charles palette. And one second. I just wanted to put all that stuff away because I had it all out on the counter. So I'm gonna actually use my Morphe M573 brush, and I'm gonna go into Canvas from James Charles. Now, for those of you who have seen any of my older videos, you'll know that typically I would always use Canvas from James Charles before starting any of my looks. That was back when I first started my channel and got my first palette, which was this one, the James Charles palette. I have since then tried out other ones, like there was a Tetris and Ipsy Block Party palette shade that I used to use. I've used the, can't remember what the name of it is. There's a shade very similar to this in my ColourPop Truly Madly Deeply palette. And then Lynn from Jeffree Star in the Jeffree Morphe X Artistry palette. So I've also noticed that I've seen people do this as I watch more beauty gurus on YouTube, which I'm not so much in the habit of doing that. I usually watch like ASMR or Mariah Elizabeth, who redoes squishies. So I'm not usually watching the beauty gurus on YouTube, but I started because I was watching those drama channels, and I'm actually kind of glad that I did watch those, because some of the people who are on there, I was gonna buy products from them. Jaclyn Hill, for example, and I will not be doing that now. After seeing some of the reviews, after seeing just the way that they behave and all of the drama that's involved, I was talking to my husband yesterday and said, I feel like most of the drama that I see is with people who do collabs with Morphe. So James Charles, Manny MUA, Jaclyn Hill, there's some others. I don't really know a whole lot of them by name, but I might not be using Morphe products much anymore, just because they seem to always have issues. Like my James Charles palette has a lot of issues with blending. It has really pretty colors, and this is the only palette that I have with all of these colors, but I'm going to be moving more towards the higher end. I mean, I started with BH Cosmetics, and definitely James Charles palette is way better than Take Me Back to Brazil from BH Cosmetics. No offense, BH Cosmetics, but the formula is just really chalky. The pigment doesn't stay very well, and there's a lot of fallout. Blending is a little difficult. But James Charles is like a step up from that. But again, this is a Morphe palette. Now, don't get me wrong, I really like some of my Morphe palettes, like Boss Mood and Hotspot. I don't think that those are collabs, but I could be wrong. But from what I've heard, the collabs with Jaclyn Hill, her Vault, whatever that was, I think it was like a few different palettes. They were also splotchy, not very pigmented, sort of chalky. So I haven't had any issues with Nomad, with Tarte, maybe, I don't know about Tarte. We'll think about Tarte. I only have one Tarte palette, so But Nomad, definitely no issues there. The Lime Crime Venus XL2 palette, no issues there. So more ColourPop I have no issues with either. So that's sort of like a brand that's affordable that I haven't had any problems with. But I will probably be moving more towards like Anastasia Beverly Hills and things like that. So let's get into this look now that I have yammered on and on about drama. To do a transition shade, now it looks like she kind of has sort of like a pinky orange here and then yellow. I think I'm going to start with the yellow just because it's the lightest shade. And I need to find a brush that'll work well. I think this SL Miss Glam brush will work. This is a collab brush with somebody, and or maybe it's just their products. I don't know. I think it's a beauty YouTuber, beauty guru, whatever. I don't know who it is, but I got this brush from Ipsy and it works pretty well, so I have no complaints there. First thing I'm gonna do is go into Tune. It's like this beigey color, and I'm just gonna put it in the very inner corner on my eyelid and a little bit up into the crease. This sort of will set the stage, so to speak, for the color B, which is a bright yellow. And dust everywhere. Jeez. Okay. Somebody said that there won't be any fallout if you like tap it first, but then there's also not any product, so there's that. I'm gonna take my crown brush, and this is the pencil side, and I've got some water here in my little like ceramic dish, and I'm gonna go into B with this, see if we can get it a little bit damp and get some bright payoff. So this just goes in the corners here. And the lower lash line in the very inner corner there as well. So there's that. Now I wish I had a color switch. I tried to find one. I think I told you guys this before. I went to Ulta and tried to find one, couldn't find one. So I'm gonna have to go somewhere else, it seems. Let me grab a tissue real quick and just switching the color here. I like to start with the light colors, that way if I need, you know, as I go, it doesn't muddy the lighter colors going into the darker colors. So next I'm gonna use 518. I'm also gonna keep this brush damp, just going into 518. This whole look, as far as I know, I will tell you if I switch, but we'll be using the James Charles palette. I might have gotten that too damp. Just laying this down next to the shade B. Sorry, my alarm went off. I could have sworn I shut them all off, but apparently not. And that was my echo. Okay, this reminds me of candy corn. I don't like candy corn. I don't know. I just don't. I feel like I hear people gasping. There are some, I feel like there's two different types of people. People who will die for candy corn and people who absolutely hate candy corn. And there's no in between. I don't care what you say. I make up my own statistics. Okay, so there's that. Now she goes into like this really bright-ish type red, but I'm gonna go with rusted first and put that right in the middle, just as a transition before I get into your kitting. And now I'm going into your kitting, and this is gonna be swoops bright, hopefully. It's supposed to be. And it kind of goes through the rest of the eye. I think there's some pink on the corner here, maybe like purple-ish, but not a lot. And for that color, I think I'll use Love That. So I'm gonna do the same to this side. I'm gonna bring these shades up into the crease a bit. I don't like when it's like just on your eyelid. It kind of looks weird, in my opinion, unless that's the look you're going for, which, you know, sometimes it is, but not in this case. So I'm just gonna bring this up a little bit, and I'm gonna switch my brush. Now, my concern with switching my brush is that this wet brush has provided such good payoff that switching to a dry brush, I'm concerned will just rub all the pigment away. But we'll find out. Okay, let's clean this end up a bit. I'm gonna use the instafamous Glam brush again, and I'm gonna start with B and bring it up into the crease a little bit. Then we're gonna go into 518, up into the crease a bit. I feel like 518 disappeared from my left eye. So I'm gonna take this pencil end, go into 518 once more. And I'm dipping into the color and then sort of like draining the water with the tissue, in case you're wondering what I'm doing there. Because sometimes when I get my brush wet, it gets too soggy, and then you're just putting water on your eye and sort of ruining the rest of the look. So let's not do that. And it's kind of hard to tell what this looks like when your shadow is wet from, you know, the way that I'm applying it, but you just gotta kind of go with it. I'm going where this transition is because there's a pretty harsh line there. I'm using Rusted to make a better transition there. Going back into 518. And really, this is just gonna be me trying to build this up and blend all at the same time. Use my fan brush for this fallout that seems to have accumulated. Okay, so these eyes look a lot different. Let's take Rusted into 518 over here, as I feel like it's gotten lost as well. This is the dry brush. So I know that there is some like a a curve when you're using wet brushes with dry brushes. As far as like, you gotta kind of wait for it to dry to blend, but I don't have this much difficulty with my other shadows. Honestly, the only reason I'm using this palette is because I don't have these colors in another palette. And I will be remedying that soon, and then you probably won't see me use this palette much anymore. Just because the blending factor is kind of difficult. Now, obviously, I am not trained or licensed or anything. I saw a video the other day where James Charles was reading. He said he was doing his makeup based off of what his haters say. And some of the comments that he was reading that he was considering like hate comments weren't even hate comments. They were like suggestions or people's opinions, and they presented them very kindly and, you know, just expressed their thoughts, and he did not take it well, and I was very unimpressed. But he kept talking about how he's not a trained MUA and all this other stuff, and like it doesn't really matter. So, you know, if it doesn't matter for him to not be a trained MUA and not have a piece of paper, then I don't see the difference. The point is the experience. I don't have a good experience using this palette. Does that mean that other people won't have a good experience? No, it just means that I don't. So, you know, all of what I talk about in my videos is just my opinions. I'm not trying to tell you guys one thing or another, but I would be remiss if I didn't tell you the truth about my experience. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to talk crap about somebody's palette. I just don't like the formula at all. So there we go. That's my 2 cents. All right, still trying to blend these colors together, having a shit time. And as I'm trying to use powder over top of the pigment that I used water with, it's sort of diminishing what I've already done. Frustrating. I mean, it's coming out cute, but I gotta blend this shit for like 2 hours. And I'm gonna try and blend the tops here because, you know, I don't like that crazy harsh line that happens sometimes. I'm gonna use 518 on the tops because it's a nice like orangey color, but it won't, I feel like it won't lose everything. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with that Love That shade. It's like a fuchsia. And I'm gonna bring it up here. She sort of brings it up into the crease. I don't know if you guys can tell just based on what you're seeing in the video, but when I go over these pigments with the dry brush, it is erasing what's already there, and that is incredibly frustrating. I'm gonna set this because I just don't know what else to do. So hold on a second. I'm hoping that by setting it, it won't move the pigments around as I'm adding, and I don't have to do that with any other palettes that I use, but this one I definitely feel like I need to. And I feel like that kind of helped a bit, so looks like I can build back up on what I've done. Okay, so maybe that's the key with using this palette, is that you're gonna have to set your it kind of reminds me of I've talked about this person before, like Poppin Atlier, I don't know how to say her name, but she's the lady that redoes dolls. She does dolly makeovers, and when she's doing them, she sets, like, she'll prep, make a base, and then as she's painting like the faces back on, she always sets what she's just done before adding more with a layer of Mr. Super Clear, and I feel like that's what you have to do with this. You have to set your shadow with some Mr. Super Clear. But don't actually use Mr. Super Clear, just use setting spray. Disclaimer. Okay, so I feel like we've kind of gotten there. Let me just clean this brush off. Try to blend this part out. That looks sort of splotchy up here. I don't know what's going on there. The yellow's looking splotchy. Nobody likes a splotchy shadow, that's for sure. What are you doing? Oh my gosh, so this whole weekend I did not practice my Russian. I'm sorry, I have failed you. But I do remember some stuff, like spasiba, which means thank you, and do svidania, which means goodbye. Добрый день, I believe means good afternoon. Здравствуйте means hello. Я понимаю по-русски. So I haven't forgotten everything. I still remember some of it, but I just haven't progressed, and I'm gonna have to get on that. You're supposed to do it every day. Every day. Excuse me. My throat hurts. I thought that I had gotten away with not getting sick. My husband was sick all weekend. I felt pretty good, so I thought, like, I'm in the clear. I don't have to worry about it. And are we in the clear? Are we in the clear? In the clear? Yeah. Sorry. And so I thought I had done pretty good. Wasn't gonna get sick. And then this morning it hit me like a ton of bricks. When I woke up, it was like, oh my god, I don't feel good. So she has underneath her eye purple, blue, green, and yellow, and they are very pigmented. And I think I'm gonna take this purple actually and make this my eyeliner. Make it part of it anyways. because pretty. I don't know, I just saw it on the bottom and thought that would make a really nice eyeliner. So something like that. I'll do this to the other side as well. I did get my brush wet before doing this, just in case you're like, wow, that color is really pigmented. By the way, this color is called Escape. I'm gonna use my regular eyeliner, but I just thought this would look cool. Okay. And then we gotta go to blue. Now he's got a shade called Cola that is super blue. Don't ask me why blue is called Cola. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but maybe it's like the Pepsi blue. I'm gonna need a Q-tip for this eye over here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go into Daddy, which is a green, and I'm gonna mix it with Social Blade. So I'm gonna go back and forth. That would be my alarm again. All right, so I mixed Daddy with Social Blade and got this really pretty green color that's going on here. I'll grab some Q-tips. Don't know why I keep my Q-tips over there, not in my drawer, but there they are now. Okay. I'm just gonna blend this part out because that one's kind of blended out nicely, but okay. Then I'm gonna take this. This is my Farrah pencil brush, and I'm gonna go back into B and merge it with that Social Blade Daddy green. I'm gonna have to get it a little damp because it's not giving me a whole lot. Okay, now I've got a bunch of powder in my eye. He's wonderful. Fan brush, whatever's going on down here. Okay, I'm gonna Q-tip this area again, go back in with my Morphe M573 in Canvas and put it down here. Just to clean up anything. All right, now I'm gonna take a Farrah 65E mini shading brush and go across the tops here and just blend it out a little bit. And I'm gonna put ring light up there. on the brow bone, that is. I say up there. Putting ring light on the brow bone. And I'm gonna take face, put it on the inner corner of, like sort of on my bridge of my nose, inner corner, not where the yellow is, or that shade is called B. There we go. All right, I think I'm gonna stop messing with the shadow because any more that I do is just gonna make it a mess. So I'm gonna set this again with my setting spray. Use my fan. And I just want to do, I can't help myself, I just want to do a quick fix of B in the corner because it looked kind of splotchy. I want it to be nice and bright. And then 518, this is my Farrah number 3 mini tapered blending brush. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm just gonna leave that. All right, now I'm gonna close up, wait, okay. I thought of something. Sorry, I'm gonna take Artistry, which is this really shimmery purple color, and put it over top of this purple. Quickly fan brush that away, because that can get really messy. This has a lot of fallout. And it has such a pretty like duo chrome effect. It's like blue and purple. So I'm doing that on both sides. Fan brushing any excess. Now I am noticing that this green is like coming down into my creases. That happens to me a lot. Usually with setting powder, it fixes it. Maybe I need some more setting powder, so let me just try that real quick. I'm going to get my Morphe M573 brush a little wet. And I'm gonna go into canvas, lay it down in the creases here. And then I'm going to take my setting powder with the same brush and hope that that seals it. I don't know if that actually works, but it's worth a try. I will let you guys know if it works, if I remember. And if I forget, just ask me. Okay. And then, last but not least, for these shades, I'm gonna get this brush a little wet again, and I'm gonna go into Acapella, which is a pretty blue shimmer. Okay, so that's it with the palette. I do have a couple things I wanted to try. So we're gonna close this up and put it away. I have these glitters. So I think I'm gonna take my Rimmel London, this is Rimmel London, right? Yeah, Wonder Swipe. This is a 2-in-1 shadow. This is in the shade Instafamous. And I'm gonna put it where the yellow is. I was thinking about just doing the bottom, but I think I want to do it top and bottom in the corners. This stuff kind of spreads out, so I'm just doing it like concentrated in the corners. And then when it starts to dry, I will kind of like smear it outwards. I'm gonna use this Farrah 10F concealer brush to blend it out. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Look at it. Look at how pretty it is. It's not sparkling as much on the camera as it is in person, but oh gosh, this stuff is so sparkly. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. And in fact, I think I'm gonna add some down here. Because I just want to. Whoa, okay, where I set my under eyes is like super white, so let's just brush that away. Okay, so this is gonna be like my own version of the look that Ellen Makeup did. Cause y'all know how I like to do my own version of stuff. I start following a template, so to speak, and then I just go on my own way. I'm just putting dots of glitter up there because why not? Ooh. Love me some sparkle. Okay, now I'm gonna take my liner. Oh wait, I have this Revlon glitter as well. I'm gonna put it on the green. Mixing it a little with the yellow. Ah, look, it's getting in the creases. Oh no! Oh no! But I'm mixing it a little with the green because, I mean the yellow. I know I'm making a weird face, but I'm trying to keep my eyes from creasing on the bottom there. Okay. Worst case, I could just bring that gold glitter down Whoa. My face is so shiny. Let's unshiny my face if we can. All right, that's it for that. Now I'm gonna take my Kaleido Obsidian liner and do a very thin line in the corners and then bring it out to the ends. I've totally disrupted and screwed up my makeup. So let's see if we can get this to fix. Now we've tried this before unsuccessfully, so might I add, but maybe, just maybe, this time it will work. I think that was probably too much. Oh God, now there's blue in there. Okay, let's try setting powder and we'll just be cool with like a slight spot. Sponge. I had some dark shadow that had fallen on my cheek and it was like glued into it, and so I tried wiping it away and disrupted my whole makeup, so yay fun. Okay, blush, let's blush this cheek back up. Look at that. Nothing to see here. I mean, I can see it if I look closely, but I'm not going to look closely, and hopefully nobody else will either. So, just set that and go back to what we were doing with the liner. Okay, so there is my lashes on. And last but not least, I'm going to do some gloss. So I'm going to do my L'Oreal Color Juice in Cherry on top. And the Betty Boop and Ipsy gloss over that. Both of these glosses smell amazing and I love using them. So that's it for today's look of the day. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope that you like this look. I will post again, Ellen Makeup, I believe is what it's called. I'll post her link down below as to where I got the inspiration for this look. Obviously I tweaked it to fit my style, so adding the glitter and the wing and not bringing it in, and yes, some other things, little dots. So anyways, I hope that you guys have fun experimenting with your makeup. Don't be afraid to get inspiration from things. When I first started, all I did was recreate other people's makeup looks, and then I expanded out into making looks my own and doing my own stuff entirely. So I hope that you guys have fun and you are beautiful. And I hope that you always remember, no matter who you are or where you are loved and you are definitely enough. Bye guys.
feel so right.